What is up, Raider Nation? It's your boy Samoan Raider back at it again with yet another video. Man, oh man, this is my first video that I dropped since the Super Bowl, so I can easily say that, man, that was a great Super Bowl. Just to see the Chiefs get their ass smacked on prime time in front of the millions and millions of fans watching at home. It kind of felt like this was everybody else's Super Bowl. Everybody that wanted the Chiefs to lose, we're happy, especially us Raider fans, and I can easily say that this is a great start to the offseason so far, and I can't wait to see what the Raiders can do moving forward. But before we do start with this video, real quick, if you guys do love Raider content, daily content, and you are a big Raiders fan, man, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon button just to notify you guys when I upload more videos just like this. With that being said, man, let's talk about the quarterback position. We already know how important this quarterback position is for the Raiders. I mean, we haven't had a solid quarterback with this team since Derek Carr left, and knowing that we have a new regime here and we got a new head coach, we got a new GM, we got Tom Brady running things, the quarterback position has never been more important for this team, and wondering whether or not this team can at least compete next season or not. Like I said, it'll depend on what we do this offseason. We already know that the NFL draft is right around the corner and free agency is right around the corner. So, you know what? Let's talk about some of the quarterbacks that the Raiders can actually go out and get. And one name that was brought up yesterday that the Raiders most likely could sign in free agency has been quarterback Sam Darnold. According to Adam Schefter, he stated that the Raiders are a team to watch for Vikings quarterback Sam Darnold in free agency.
I think the Raiders are going to make a play for Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold's a candidate to be the Raiders quarterback. We'll see whether Minnesota lets him go or not, but let's see if that works out with Sam Darnold winding up in Vegas.
Now, it definitely is interesting, especially knowing Sam Darnold is coming off of his best season yet. Last year, playing for the Vikings, threw for 4,319 yards and 35 touchdowns. Definitely revitalizing his career. And then knowing our head coach, Pete Carroll, back in 2020, Pete had a lot of great things to say about Sam Darnold, saying, I think he's really talented, without question. He's got great throws in him. He's a real quarterback. He sees things, he makes big plays and big throws in difficult situations because of his talent. It's just a matter of time. Sam's going to be a really big time quarterback. He's thrown a lot of balls in 3 years. He's had a lot of experience. It will pay off in the long run. Now, like I said, this is really interesting to see, especially knowing Pete Carroll is our new head coach now. He has a lot of high praise for a guy like Sam Darnold, and Sam definitely, I can see being a quarterback for the Raiders future. And if the Raiders do sign him, I know the Raiders have all the cap space in the world right now to bring him in and make him that franchise guy. And if he was to sign over here, I doubt that the Raiders go in the draft and draft the quarterback high. Now, throughout this whole offseason, throughout this whole cycle, I've been opposed to getting Sam Darnold because I just don't see him doing the same thing that he did over there in the Vikings over here, but I could easily be wrong. Would I mind him over here? No, I wouldn't mind him at all. Whatever decision that Pete Carroll makes or Tom Brady makes or even John Spytek makes, you know, bringing him over here to play in Chip Kelly's system, to play under Pete Carroll, if there's anybody that I trust more, it's Pete Carroll to help develop a quarterback, to help bring the best out of a certain quarterback. We've seen him do it with Russell Wilson, heck, with even Geno Smith. So knowing that Sam Darnold could come over here and be the franchise guy, we'll just have to wait and see, but I wouldn't doubt his abilities to come over here and help this team compete. And I think it would put the Raiders in a good position right now because we wouldn't have to draft a quarterback high in the draft. We would just go out and get the best player available. And even though I may be opposed to him and he may not be my number one quarterback, I wouldn't mind him over here in the silver and black, especially if he's able to play up to the same caliber that he did last season with the Vikings. But Raider Nation, what do you guys think about Sam Darnold? Could he be an option for the Raiders? Is he your number one guy? And if we were to sign him over here, would you guys still go and draft a quarterback in the NFL draft? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, I want to talk about yet another quarterback out there, one guy that has been getting a lot of headlines out there, and a quarterback that is really controversial amongst the NFL and especially amongst the Raider Nation. Aaron Rodgers, Mr. Aaron. Now, I seen an article from Sports Illustrated of Aaron Rodgers' 5 potential teams for this offseason in free agency. And one of those teams, of course, was our Las Vegas Raiders, saying the Raiders are expected to be searching for a new quarterback during the offseason. Their tandem of Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell provided mostly poor results throughout the season. And while they're expected to be considering picking a quarterback early in the 2025 draft, the team may prefer to test free agency due to a weaker crop of quarterbacks in the draft. Rodgers, of course, would be a sensible fit for a one-year deal in Las Vegas. The Raiders have an abundance of cap space, over $85 million, and the second most in the NFL. And it's possible they elect to wait on drafting a quarterback until 2026 and roll the dice with Rodgers next year and Pete Carroll's first season as a head coach. Now, before you guys go out and say hell no to Aaron Rodgers, I wouldn't mind this move at all. I wouldn't even mind this more than, Sam Darnold coming over here to Las Vegas, for the mere fact that Aaron Rodgers, even at his high age, still can get it done in the right system. I just think that the New York Jets was an abysmal franchise. They didn't know what they were doing, and heck, the people running things over there didn't know how to run the show. But with this new regime over here, with all the experience that we have here, with Pete Carroll, with Tom Brady, that relationship with Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, he got a lot of respect for him, and I know that Aaron Rodgers will respect Tom Brady as well as, Pete Carroll and even Chip Kelly with this offense. I don't think we'd have to pay too much to get Aaron Rodgers over here. He could come here on a 1-2 year deal, maybe a team option, and I feel like the Raiders could get the most out of Aaron Rodgers, especially to be that bridge quarterback for this team. I know I've been high on, getting a guy like Russell Wilson to be a bridge quarterback, maybe even getting Geno Smith, but if we're not able to get any of those guys, I wouldn't mind looking in the direction of Aaron. He's a guy that's done it before. He's a guy that can make all the throws. He can still throw the ball really nice. Now, I know that the biggest knocks on him, one is all the drama that this dude has, packaged with him. The whole Devontae thing that went on, man, of course, was idiotic, but I don't think that he'd come over here with Devontae Adams, and I don't really think that it would hurt to have Aaron Rodgers here, like I said, on a 1-year deal maybe, and being a bridge quarterback. This would definitely give the Raiders a lot of flexibility in the draft with whatever quarterback that we go out and get, whether it is Russell Wilson, Geno Smith, whether it is Sam Darnold. The Raiders would definitely have a lot of flexibility in the draft to build a foundation here in Las Vegas, and using this 2025 draft to get all the best players available to fill a lot of the position of needs. And if we're able to hit a lot of good picks in this draft, we could definitely be building a dynasty here in Las Vegas, and maybe this could be a move that the Raiders can go out and at least entertain. And knowing Aaron Rodgers and knowing him, maybe he could make a Peyton Manning-esque run for the end of his career, and maybe we could build a solid defense to help him out. A solid defense, get a solid running game, and then bring in some of the best receiving talent here. And I feel like signing a big name like Aaron Rodgers will attract some talent to come over here to Las Vegas to play with this team. And this move would definitely put the Raiders in a win-now mode, something that Pete Carroll has talked about over and over and over and over again. So bringing the best minds here, putting them together here in Las Vegas with an Aaron Rodgers, then I'm all for it, yo. I just can only hope and pray that he would leave all the drama in the past and then move forward and just try to compete, yo. That's all we need out of whatever quarterback we bring in. But Aaron Rodgers is definitely a name that I would love to bring over here, and I would etch him a little bit higher than Russell Wilson. Of course, he wasn't on my list earlier because I thought he was going to return to the Jets, but knowing the Jets and their new regime, they want to go in a whole new different direction, which is a future without Aaron Rodgers. And if so, hell, why not bring him over here to Las Vegas? I know that the Pittsburgh Steelers right now are a favorite to get Aaron Rodgers, but if they're not able to get him, and if the Raiders can put something together that looks enticing, then hey, we could possibly see number 12 over here in Las Vegas. Now, I want to move on to another quarterback that has been talked about amongst the Raider Nation as well. It seems like we're throwing our names in the hat for every quarterback out there, but hey, it's good. It's good that the Raiders have options out there, whether we want to go in free agency or in the draft. But one name that has been brought up, if his respective team wants to move on from him, is Matthew Stafford. Now, according to Bovada, the Las Vegas Raiders are the odds co-favorites to trade for LA Rams star quarterback Matthew Stafford. Now, it really makes it interesting to know that Matthew Stafford is another quarterback that the Raiders can possibly go out and get, and I wouldn't mind him here. I think he could still be a solid quarterback as well, but if I had to put all my quarterbacks up there, he wouldn't be at the top of that list. Now, I know Matthew Stafford has dealt with a lot of injuries and is slowly declining, just like Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson and all these other quarterbacks. I think you can't go wrong in any direction. I just don't really think that the Rams will actually move on from Matthew Stafford. But if he was to be available for any team to go out and get him, then I definitely think that the Raiders should dip their toes in this and just kind of keep an eye on this, because I feel like it would be an interesting take for the Raiders. And knowing our team, we could definitely use a lot of help, as much as help as we can get at the quarterback position. But with all that said, whether we're looking at a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers or Matthew Stafford or Russell Wilson, then we know that they are all short-term answers for the Raiders. The only long-term answer that I see for the Raiders, if we were to sign him in free agency, is Sam Darnold, still 27 years old with a lot ahead of him. And if the Raiders do end up committing to Sam Darnold to a multi-year deal and he does good over here, then maybe the Raiders don't have to go in the draft and get anybody, but the draft is definitely going to coincide with what we do in free agency, especially at the quarterback position. Because if we do get Aaron Rodgers or Matthew Stafford, Geno Smith, Russell Wilson, those short-term answer quarterbacks in free agency, then I can see the Raiders getting a quarterback in the second, maybe third round. And you're looking at guys like Jalen Moreau. You look at Dylan Gabriel out there. You look at Will Howard, who played under Chip Kelly before. These are quarterbacks that you could possibly get in the second, maybe even the third round. But with that being said, though, Raider Nation, what are your thoughts on this? Who would be your number one quarterback that you would want to get in free agency and in the NFL draft? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Until the next one, this is your boy Small Raider, and your boys, yeah.